women aren't attractive. That's what the name of this video is going to be. Now, somebody invited me to go to Essence festivals in, I guess, New Orleans or Louisiana or whatever the case is. And I really embrace Creole people for the Essence. You know what I'm saying? And being that feminism is all I got to uplift my womanhood, when I was a kid, I had to justify everything with my intellectual identity. People were giving me heroin shots, doing all this shit to me to basically make me feel angry and reject myself. I don't blame them for doing that because they're trying to get notoriety in society, and it is about muscle and people respecting you, whether you got to take it or actually earn it. But it really was uncalled for. It really was irrational. And, I really bowed down to these people a lot. So when you catch me doing some shit, it's not for no damn reason. When I leave this earth, the things that I have done is not going to be for no reason. Men are beautiful to me, and I don't reject them. And I used to sit there and wonder why, why all these people was doing this shit to me. And I'm like, they try to, justify with a theory like tough skin and all that shit. And being in South Carolina, I've been around some people that still doubt themselves. I can see, how, the concept of submission have women doubting themselves. And I've been around older people, and I have to embrace them because a lot of them got the fitness down to good cooking and cleaning, and something we'll never be able to, they'll never be able to take away from, you can't, an intellectual identity is good, but you cannot take away a good experience with a good grandma or, or a good grandfather, that actually been doing things for years. I'm pretty sure that there are people that were born within the realms of a certain paradigm that do not know any better. So that's why I really, trying to appreciate my ethnic background and the people that I grew up around because, life can't be perfect and they have slowed me down to a certain degree. But, what's wrong with a little trouble? What's wrong with a little stress? It does give you a little bit of tough skin, but, I hope one day that nobody has to develop this. Everybody just live, learn, and be happy. So that's what it's about. I could be a bit pessimistic, but a lot of these people, really do have humble beginnings and really don't know any better. I grew up around a lot of grandmas, a lot of people that I was eating at a shelter in Aiken, South Carolina. Some older lady was sitting there asking me to do something on the computer, and I told her, no, you do it yourself. Because at the end of the day, it's really disheartening that it's women out here doubting themselves because of the concept of submission and being basically dealing with pimp culture, the perverse nature of men and men being lustful and them sitting at home being viewed as submissive when that's not really the case. A lot of these women are very strong and they're just surviving. That's why they become mean-spirited and they do things against their own will, because a lot of us down here have morals, especially in the South. It's the, the Bible Belt. A lot of people do have morals and they just only want to defend their own character, their own strengths, their own weaknesses, their own identity. That's what I am doing. I am not out here pulling triggers for no reason. I was in Aiken. I actually got raped. I walked in the house with somebody knowing he was going to do that to me from a shelter with a plate and text my mama a picture of him. So what does that tell you? That's the kind of men I was around. That's the kind of mentality that we're trying to rewind. That's what's slowing me down on a professional level. I had to go home and study things a little bit harder than most people. All these women chose to submit to people. I'm sitting here submitting to people, pretending to be they junkies and all that stuff because I do care about family, but I come from dysfunction, irrational, behaving people. I'm not really sure of why, not really sure of why a lot of these people wouldn't sympathize with me when clearly, they were stuck in a certain paradigm. My grandma used to beg some guy for money and things of that nature, and I'm like, it happened naturally. He was living in Mississippi. They have casinos out there, so there's a lot of money floating around. Even if he didn't have it, she thought he had it. So my grandma kind of ruined my reputation, and my mom is a baby mama, and I'm like, I'm nothing like them. And I raised my sisters to not like men because of that fact. I'm like, you might as well just be single. If a man has sex with you, it's rape. They're sitting here trying to justify it with submission. I've had a nigga, and I will say a nigga because that is ignorant, to sit there and have sex with me just to flaunt his manhood because he had somebody that was going to be loyal to him already. I had nobody being loyal to me growing up. I'm not finna sue nobody, none of that, because I got my pride. This person know what I do to them, so it don't even matter. Your girlfriends, your wife, all that. They know what time it is with me. So with all that being said, them, establishing a family unit, in reality, I had humble beginnings. All of these people were sitting there doing all that shit to me, and I'm like, I'm really coming from dysfunctionality. I'm looking for somebody to actually have a heart for me. Nobody wants to have a heart for me because I'm not submitted to a man after experiencing penetrative sex with a man. So you basically saying I need to love a man for sex and just keep it moving. Go home and cook and clean. That is not the reason why I like men. That's why I used to tell any little boys around the ghetto that would sit there and flirt with me or not, I would say, will you marry me? Because I want to promote the idea that I have status, that I am somebody that obviously cares about the state of monogamy that this whole world is not in. Everybody being polygamous. Now that people are traumatized, I actually appreciate and value and approve of this idea personally. So with all that being said, for it to be women out here, a little boy telling me that I'm scoring after him fucking the shit out of me, and then stepbrothers and stuff fucking me, and then wanting to promote the idea that I want to make you weak, so if we compete for a job, this, that, or third. How can I psychologically feel protected by these people? I mean, I have no grudges against them, but they know what I'll do to them. I should have to beg people to help me protect myself. It should already be done. I had all these people trying to prove that they had good character. My womanhood is my downfall with all these people. I never seen a difference between me and these men in my life, these males. I never understood it. I'll sit here and watch all these ghetto people, and I'm like, I thought we would never amount to nothing. Y'all got jobs and everything, but y'all still stuck in a certain attitude. That's what we're dealing with. There's a certain attitude that people that come from dysfunction actually have. That's why they never make it, because a lot of these people are getting hookups and all this ghetto shit, but they don't have application. I'm sitting here stuttering all because I'm thinking too hard about shit that done happened to me. That's what's schizophrenia. I thank God for these, these words that they come up with, for the little bit of isms and schisms of emotions that we experience when our body stresses. That's basically all schizophrenia is. It's a bunch of ideas and things that you think about something that vexed you. So with all that being said, being a female, I'm not sure how I should move, but I'm just like the rest of these women. I'm looking at these women, I'm like, y'all ain't nothing to look at. When we sit here obsessing over six-pack and abs. That's why I'm like, I get caught up in these videos. It really is a reverse psychological detox. Without women, these men wouldn't look good. Like I was saying, I grew up around a girl that was a detox for me because she spoke differently than me. I wasn't taught to speak Igbo. She had a happy-go-lucky spirit. Her mom kept her in a certain realms of way. So they stressed me supposedly for, my mom's benefit, because when I was born to her, my dad had other kids. It was a typical situation, and I really am ashamed of that situation, because at the end of the day, I'm pretty sure my mom, the way that her attitude is, she's really a nice lady, and she really don't give a fuck. I got my own shit. I'm a woman, and I end up having a baby. It's real simple, right? So for all these people out here that were trying to ruin my reputation because they're showing loyalty to their boyfriends, I don't actually take offense to that. I don't take offense to none of these women that like boys. What I do take offense is misjudgment, mischaracterization. I'm not finna sit here and sue your nigga and shit because you want womanhood to look weak, because in essence, you're looking at him like that's my boo, and I'm looking at him from a whole different perspective. I can't justify a nigga being my boo with what reality is. So for all y'all bitches that's loyal to me, if I die because of heteronormity, I can't even get mad. I can't. Because I go around and I have to mock men for a detox, because that's what, once you make a connection with a man, it's normal to your brain. That's why I get so mad, because, I had a lot of people down on me growing up, and I sat here and I sat there and told them niggas, I'm not going to respect you, even if I am going against the grains of my own emotions. I'm not going to do it, because I don't want to be seen in this light. I want to be a single person, human being that dies, not somebody's side bitch or somebody's baby mama. I'm not saying nothing wrong with that, because I embrace the culture. I'm looking at listening to some of these niggas' songs and shit. You ghetto. I can tell that they ain't nobody special, because they ain't got a lot of views. I ain't nobody special. But what I will say is that a lot of people was running on my parade for this small, very low life paradigm. You see, Day low life. I embrace the low life. It really is. Go ahead and promote these people, because they really are stuck in a paradigm. So when they get travel and go overseas, I'm not oblivious to shit. I know it's probably people that really live in a small type of paradigm. I enjoy my peace. I will have fun when I go over there because it's another country, but I actually love being, in a peaceful home away from everybody. That's what's beautiful about the South. You can find some land out here and build you a good house and get you a certain, amount of centimeters, or, whatever, feet squared of land, and, have a certain level of privacy if you want to. But it's a lot of buildings out here. I don't know. It takes a community. And that's what's so fucked up about the attitudes of people. That's why people start gangs, because there are some people that really do unite, and they have families, and they want it to be respected. But I never understood why I was excluded, except for the whole, these people speak Geechee and I don't. Other than that, we all had one thing in common. We were human beings. Human beings living life. And we started creating tension between ourselves because of naturalism. It really wasn't making no sense. Because I understand the paradigm of being from the ghetto. Some people don't think it's a paradigm. Some people think it's reality. I'm like, if I had a son, it happened naturally. If I had a son at this point in life, I would raise him to be a gentleman. But everybody got to be a thug, because at some point you got to protect what's yours. Them people was mad at me for after I got penetrated by a man not wanting to be with a man. And I'm like, why are y'all making a big deal out of that? Now, if you have what they call substantial relationships now, and you're far away from dysfunctionality, even if you are polygamous or whatnot, then that's okay. But if y'all still got the same fucked up attitude and it's all still dysfunctional, it ain't respectable. And my choice of just being by myself is not wrong. So with all that being said, check out the palm trees. I'm from Georgia. And when you go to Florida and you go to Universal Studios, especially during the spring or summertime, it may seem a bit crowded. You know what I'm saying? After experiencing sexual abuse and dysfunctionality, it was hard for me to be social. But this is really, for a lot of them people that say that they from the ghetto down there, I really enjoyed the essence of, what Florida could offer before I went down there, because I'm from Georgia and I see palm trees like going toward that way, but now I'm in South Carolina, and they're all over the place now. They represent a peace of mind to me. Paradise. That's what palm trees represent. So I'm always constantly, if I see one, period, I'm taking a picture by it, because that's what it reminds me of. That's why when I was a kid, I used to sit there and listen to call random neighborhoods and say, listen, I cannot change my paradigm. I was supposed to be in love with a nigga that was just a man. And now I'm getting mad because people are rejecting me for the idea of me not wanting to conform to that. And I never understood that. So I'm like, all these people, they're going to unite. They're going to be family. I'm like, I can't do it. Because I think any woman, depending on the level of hope that's instilled in you, and if you're not growing up around pessimistic people with pessimistic mindsets, you will enjoy life a little better than somebody like me. You know what I'm saying? I'm intuitive. I grew up trying to read books and, do the right thing. And then I would have people that challenge me, for, the opposite. You need to be this. You need to be that. You need to be thugged out. You lame. I'm like, these lame niggas is sitting here having success. I'm like, I'm really rooting for the men on the low. But what I'm saying is they really want to rain on my parade. They really want me to conform to this ideal. It makes sense, but you got to feel me, though. Because I'm like, I really could just be a lesbian with a cute woman on my side. Sex has nothing to do with the equation of love to me. It's the reason why I don't like most people. It would really happen too sudden, too fast, and in too much of an irrational. It was really an irrational situation. So with all that being said, for all y'all that want to see me down, listen to Rich Homie Quan. All that stuff he's saying, I believe is true too. I agree with that statement because I actually wrote damn near the whole mixtape. He was just a man. All these niggas was. I used to sit there and tell people, you're going to have a voice when you leave this earth. I'm going to be that dyke that dies, and you're going to appreciate your manhood whether you like it or not. I don't understand the paradigm of naturalism and shit, but I don't want no man sticking his penis in me and he got a family and kids and shit just because of this concept and wanting to prove to somebody that I'm so good of a man that I should be able to do that. It's the difference between being confident, cocky, and arrogant. I defined these words when I went home. These are things that I think about. There's a certain level of arrogance that I appreciate when it comes to rap music and things like that, things of that nature. And there are certain settings where it's definitely approved to be like this. Because that's why I kept telling them niggas, I'm jealous of you. If I was an arrogant man and an arrogant woman, it's a double standard. Arrogant men, my nigga Stern, he real. He gonna protect me. I feel protected by my nigga. I don't want to feel protected by no nigga. I want to feel protected by a man. Not no damn ignorant motherfucker that come from the hood that really choose not to learn and be stupid because he got some women that's sitting there keeping you confined to the nature of just being a male and fucking. That's why I didn't like some of the men in my life, because they really was raining on my paradigm of being a woman because of the double standards. Nah, she ain't shit. She ain't nobody. I'm a man. These hoes want my dick. I mean, half of they women that they say they like, I like these bitches too. I look at bitches. I understood lesbianism was not a concept to me. I understood what being gay was at a young age. So I'm like, I'm not finna sit here. I'm like, all these niggas are predictable. They sitting there saying, he died this, died that. You doing all that damn mean streaking. Because either A, you broke, or two, you just pure ignorant. I'm like, I'm going to watch a bitch stroke my ego too. I grew up around people that speak Geechee. So sometimes it's hard for me to articulate the way I want to. Because I really do get caught up in the accent. It's something that's a detox for me, yet a stressor for me. It's a bittersweet situation. Just like being in love with a man, or being in love with a woman, or whatever concept or idea or reality that you live. So I work at McDonald's and the Walmart off 1317 Main Street, and that's what the fuck I do. Excuse my language, but I have mental issues, and I thank God for these people being, approachable with my situation. And, I just hope that everything goes well and people are just understandable that, when I see all these different faces, I go home and I think about it, because I really been through some things. I really was traumatized. It really was not liking men is, sexual nature, all that stuff. It had nothing to do with liking men, but it happened naturally. I was living in a neighborhood. I wanted certain things, and I was being treated in a certain way. I had to, realize that, I had a Barbie tent. That's something I'm ashamed to say, because that's not what idea I was conforming to. You know what I'm saying? I was really like a tomboy. So with all that being said, I go over so-and-so house and I'm trying to play a PlayStation. Like, I'm waiting on my Xbox 360 right now that my mom gave me, and I'm going to be mad if I don't get it back because of that fact. But it's going to be all good, because I knew when I gave it to the nigga that he probably wasn't going to give it back to me anyway. And even if he does, it's still the point. It's something I'm still never gonna forget because my damn mama gave it to me. See, I was taught to be careful around people. That's how you know I'm traumatized. I go around people and I talk down about my mom just to see how they gonna respond. I do it on purpose. I'm like, all these niggas is out here understanding the invasiveness of them sticking their penis in a man and viewing it as a submissive mentality instead of viewing it as trauma. So rain on parade of my womanhood if you want to, but you can't stop. You can't stop the creator, man. I will put on this earth for a reason. And a goddamn lifetime. I'm gonna be here for a whole damn lifetime. I ain't going no goddamn well. And when I die, I don't want nobody speaking in tongues or none of that shit, because all that shit is fake as fuck to me. I got raped in church. Niggas sitting there explaining the concept of submission, really thinking women are enjoying it. What about the laws out here? That's why they got laws, because some people are experiencing trauma. Thank God for feminism. You know what I'm saying? Thank Allah too. I need to go ahead and download the Quran and remember some of them prayers or whatever in Hebrew, Arabic, whatever. An Arabic tongue, and just go ahead and try to memorize some of that shit. And find somebody that will bop my ass for a damn detox. But on some real shit, man. You know, I grew up tough, and a lot of things could have been avoided. And a lot of people say, when I have kids, I'm not going to let my kids go through nothing. In the world that we live in now, based off my personal experience, if I had a kid, I would have at least $50 million in the bank, based off how traumatized I feel. That way, if I can be like, you're going to show your child, you got to show you how to book a flight. It don't take that much money to do something, and good character only goes a long way. That's why they got videos on YouTube like Last Guys Finish First and all this old stupid shit. Definitely, really, reality will slap you in the face early. And I'm like, well, if you lose that $50 million, you can't nobody tell you didn't have $50 million though, because you got the bank statements and you got the computers and all that shit. So with all of that being said, I'm from the South, and I definitely want to expand my horizons. I definitely have to make a real conscious effort to articulate and things of that nature, because I grew up around a lot of old people that were being viewed in this aspect, and men were sitting there robbing and shit because of that fact. It didn't make no sense. I'm like, y'all going overboard, but not really, because I'm like, they ain't exempt from crime too. So I guess that's the point they was trying to make. When I'm not around you, I'm a man, I'm a target, I'm doing all these push-ups, motherfuckers gonna want to get me. Okay. Now when they get you, we'll make sure you get a will, and make sure you keep your kids straight, because that's what reality is. Just like for my little sisters. My grandma done ride up and down the street with their country asses talking about some, make sure y'all take care of my grandbaby. Don't be telling them folk you believe in God. That's where the hypocritical state comes in. If you have faith in God, see, that's how I knew they were traumatized or they were going through some shit. Because when you have faith, you don't sit there and tell other people to have your back. You tell that shit to God. This is why I can't support this religion. Because one, I'm traumatized. And because two, I ain't no atheist. But it's just not, it's just the reality of my situation personally. So I figured I'd just be a Muslim or something. Muslim man in reverse psychology. So with all that being said, this whole concept of submission, had them videos don't even got a lot of views. This shit is fucking common sense, like they were trying to tell me. But what they were sitting there doing was creating paradigms for me to doubt myself. And I was sitting there wanting to kick all their asses, dads, moms included. It's all good. Some people will rain on your parade. Don't expect me to be a girl or a guy. I'm a human being in this bitch. Shout out to all my niggas from Louisiana, all my Creole niggas. Y'all can't hold a real nigga down. I ain't Creole, but goddammit, I will fuck your ass up. I ain't even no man hater. I thank God for men. Cause y'all trying to shit on my paradigm and y'all try to spread rumors and y'all used to women with attitudes. I'm like, okay, this is the normal behavior that forms in society. I really want to get around some people. I actually seen videos of up north and there's a lot of skyscrapers. So I'm pretty sure all those buildings hold a lot of substantial paperwork and, things that can teach me, intrigue me to, correct my state of mind of pessimism, appreciate life more, and move forward with my life. That's all it is. Even if there's nothing in the building, it still says a lot. Somebody took their time to build that shit. So with all of that being said, it's okay. I got a lot of people that like me, a lot of people that don't like me. One thing I can say about the hood mentality is like people ain't dumb. Crime Mob clearly say hated by some, no, loved by some, hated by many. Some and many are two different words. Some means a little, many means a lot. So with all that being said, all them motherfuckers that I grew up around that say I was hating, nigga raped me and made me stack shit. I'm like, I still ain't passionate about that shit. I couldn't agree with it. I'm like, my lack of actual malehood, I can't agree with a lot of this behavior. This is natural for y'all. I'm analyzing it. How do you think I feel? I'm outside the box. You are the box. So with all of that being said, I'm being ignored because of sexuality. I knew that some of y'all had minds. We all went to school together. But how do you feel about having all this loyalty toward one man and he sticks his penis in me? That actually scares me. I don't want no woman find me over no damn nigga. I don't. It breaks my heart. It doesn't feel right. All these women that turned on me for these manhood, they weren't humble to me. They would sit there and plot on my womanhood and tell me that I wasn't humble, and I'm sitting there telling them I'm being macho. Don't try to fix it up. I became all their personalities. I got a stepbrother named Jamel. And he used to sit there and starve himself, smoke cigarettes. You're dehydrating your soul. Hydrate yourself. Then start back smoking. I know that y'all was going through some shit. Y'all took losses. I've lost a grandfather. Shit don't feel the same. I don't eat the same. These people aren't in your life anymore. We took losses. We all did. It ain't really no different. It's the same trauma. Motherfucker be like, well, your grandfather ain't your mama. It's the same thing. If you love your family, you love your family. So with all of that being said, all them men sitting there wanting to get married and shit, I encourage this mentality. So I did step up to the plate as a woman, you know what I'm saying, beside the fact that I'm just a human being or a dyke, and tell them niggas that this is what I want y'all to do. If you do have to be polygamous, make sure you're an intellect, because I actually value that lifestyle too. You have to be very intellectual. That's why I keep telling people I envy the lifestyle of a man, because it's normal behavior that I was experiencing. I'm sitting there telling these people, this shit is normal. Ain't nobody finna second guess and doubt no man, not in the paradigm that the rims of the paradigm that I'm forming in my life. They want us to just goddamn be dumb and look stupid. I'm like, I could barely articulate because of all these old motherfuckers. All they did was curse and sit around and smoke cigarettes, knowing that it's wrong. A lot of these old timers, they smoke cigarettes. They've been in wars and stuff. So with all of that being said, I have a lot of people that I grew up around, and they did become rappers and stuff. So I'm trying to listen to their music and get into it. And I'm like, you really had a mindset. I actually appreciate Creole people, but I don't appreciate them trying to be rejective with me. This whole being with a man shit, I took that shit personally. And when I die, that's what them bitches gonna know. Well, at least she died a damn dyke. Nah, Sade wasn't with that man woman shit. Because it was unnecessary. I got unnecessary drama and emotional trauma because of that shit. I'm like, I already know what these niggas about to do. They're predictable to me. It's not about me being an intellectual woman. It's about male identity. I didn't give a fuck what them niggas was doing because they were predictable. I'm like, if I was a man, I'd do that shit too. It wasn't about being no butch, being no lesbian. It's about what's real. A nigga took his dick out of his girl and stuck it in me and told me I was submitting to him. I wasn't submitting. I was fucking scared of your ass. It's a difference. They wanted to teach me to love a man. And I don't knock them for doing that, because if I am stuck in a situation and I get raped, I'm used to the feeling, but it still does not negate the behavior, the act, period. I listen to all this R&B music and I get mad because I'm like, I wonder if my mind's so open, I wonder if a man or woman wrote it. Because I know I as a lesbian have contributed to a lot of heartfelt songs. Letting these bitches know, don't get that shit twisted. It ain't even about being gay. These niggas ain't doing shit. You know what I'm saying? Them hoes was impressed, like, shit, my nigga smooth, he looked good. All I had to do was be a cute nigga and I wouldn't be rejected by a long shot. And all the niggas I grew up with, they weren't the same. They didn't look the same. They didn't cry the same. They didn't have the same heart to me. And this is why I'm valuing my lifestyle even more. Every day, I value being a lesbian. I actually love it, because at the end of the day, I understand from an intellectual standpoint that being a female is the reason why some of them niggas couldn't get with the program of the way that I was rejecting them, or not. I'm going to let you use your intellectual identity and tell me. A lot of those women were acting dumbfounded because of the natural idea of a woman being with a male. It was getting on my nerves. It really didn't make any sense. I'm like, it's common sense. I don't want to be with you. Now, if we would have went out on dates and stuff and had sex 10 years later, then yeah. I know people that probably do that from an intellectual standpoint based off the state of this world. In this type of world, there's no such thing as having sex with somebody and then falling in love. I could never fall in love with somebody because of a man having sex with me. It just doesn't make sense. It's no intellectual sense. Now, don't get me wrong. I missed out on the life of being a man, right? If I was a man, I would have been with a Geechee bitch or something. I would have fell in love with her accent. So, now that we factor in that in the equation, let's talk business. Since I'm a girl, all these motherfuckers is toxic as hell for my head. So, all the women are rooting for their niggas. What do? I'm going to stand there and be the same motherfucker I've been. I wasn't calling myself macho, taco, none of that shit. My name is Sade. That's what they named me. I actually appreciate that name too, because it's not ghetto. Sade is a very beautiful singer, and when people think of my name, they think of her. Hopefully. So with all of that being said, a lot of people that I grew up around never understood from an intellectual standpoint why they would want to be with a man. And you know, the life that these dudes are living now, they've got families, they've got kids. I made a point. Well, whatever time, whenever I get angry, I made a point about this shit. I don't just get angry for no damn reason. It's a point. Y'all ain't gonna respect me. Y'all doing too goddamn much. Them niggas was sitting there trying to prove their intellectual identity. I'm being jealous of this fact. I sit here and analyze your emotions, made songs out of it and everything. And you sitting there telling me I don't make a point and I don't count. My thought counts. These men sitting here trying to make it seem like, oh, I'm this and I'm that. You a man-hater. Nah, you just see a female when you look at me. But deep down in my soul, I sat there and sympathize with your emotional state with a woman. You want me to think like a woman for you, and I'm sitting here being judgmental and sitting here being disdainful to you and really wanting to be a man, because I'm like, that's how she look at you. She gonna treat you like royalty, and I'm gonna be treated like shit because I'm being viewed as a person that's not submitted to a man. It really don't make no sense. I grew up in Atlanta, and I never seen so many ignorant people. I didn't even think we had ignorant people like that. I really grew up in the city, in the heart of the city. And when I see these ignorant people that's around, I'm like, where the fuck these folk come from? They not from here. They from Louisiana, Arkansas, Shit like that. St. Louis, Kentucky and shit. Take your ass back there. Back to Sin City, wherever the fuck you from. Motherfuckers out here using reverse psychology. These motherfuckers realize, okay, you really built like that. Now that we embracing you and giving you all these YouTube views and listening to your music, and you have this identity, now what? It really don't make no sense to me. Y'all sitting here getting mad at me for not wanting to be in love with a street nigga. That was a simple-minded concept to me. I had to make that shit a concept. Because I'm like, is it really hard for me to connect with a man after a man sticking his penis in me? It didn't happen for me. It was a very irrational situation. That's why these niggas out here standing in that ghetto still shooting for no reason. It doesn't make any sense to me to be in love with a damn street nigga. I don't get it. I mean, I get it, but not really. I'm too intellectual for that. But I'm going to have to live my life like that. Because if I ever, you know what I'm saying, choose to fondle around with another woman, she going to have to be very intellectual. And it's going to get to that point. A lot of the women that I grew up with aren't intellectual. I know, because I've given them ideas based off sympathy. They didn't think I could empathize with their boyfriends, but I'm like, we sitting in the same damn jail cell. What more do you need? We're sitting here busting the same nuts. What more do you need? I be laughing at these bitches. And they niggas. I'm looking at all these niggas that I grew up, right? I call them a masculinistic men. All they want to do is, if I do wrong, I'm going to do 1,000 push-ups and my daddy going to give me some money. That's how it works. That is not how it works. You're not building character if a motherfucker didn't get through to you. That's why I didn't like them niggas, because I'm like, y'all gonna grow up spoiled and these bitches gonna appreciate y'all for y'all bodies, but they ain't gonna see you ain't gonna have no soul to yourself like that. I'm gonna appreciate your soul in reverse psychology, because you ain't doing nothing but a bunch of yip yap to me. To them, that's your boyfriend. To me, I just don't know. I don't know what the fuck you going on. I'm sitting here making a concept out of your personality, which means you're nothing to me. I'm disdainful. Call it what you want. I'm a woman. I can't be disdainful. Now, if I was a man, I'd be on an ego trip for real. I'd be getting my my nut sack, everything sucked up and everything, and I just brag about it because you can actually make money doing that. That's why these niggas, Pretty Ricky and shit, when they do their little concerts or venues, whatever the fuck they do, I'm pretty sure they doing all kind of stupid shit, getting their dick sucks and everything, because the women really appreciate it. And I'm like, once you have kids and realize and really create, paradigms in your head and learn more, you'll realize that, well, daddy is a singer, but he doesn't want to do this and do that. So don't get it twisted. If you want them to have a respectable way of approaching, their human existence, you're going to have to put standards and boundaries on the way that you move. That's what kids are supposed to do for you. So I'm like, okay, these people going to grow up and have kids and turn their kids on me. All right, cool. All right, that's cool. I really am a really bougie person. I choose to, I had to get little things when I'm living in a ghetto situation to actually detox my mind. Whatever people think ghetto is, buy food, put them in bags and shit. I'm like, I think the reason why I couldn't conform to that, living in the ghetto, is because I really felt like some of them was doing it on purpose. I'm like, your children eyes are sunk in, they look depressed. That is not naturally how you want to live. But I can actually appreciate a ghetto identity because you can sell that, because people really do come from the hood. Doesn't mean that, there's some mishaps. There's some unrecognized behavior that go on, though. You got to look deep. You got to think deep. These people are not stupid. They just slowed down a little bit. That's where we come from, a paradigm where, if you're dealing with chauvinistic men and shit like that, they want to put you in check and then justify what we're making you tougher. But now that we understand the concept of stress and we ain't trying to be macho no more, you need to either take your anxiety pill or get with the program and leave that situation. Because in reality, it was typical. After you seen the movie Baby Boy, It should have been a wake-up call for some people living like that. And if some people ain't never seen that movie, then they probably living in that paradigm. So with all that being said, for y'all motherfuckers that's going around having children and shit and doing your thug thing and all that shit, somebody gonna take your goddamn life for being so damn ignorant. Don't get it twisted with these goddamn suburban kids and shit. You goddamn come from Atlanta, off MLK or whatever the fuck hood you think you from, with your country at all ass, and you go to Cobb County, you gonna get your ass knocked off because that's how it work. That's all I know. I vouch for Cobb County, Paulding County, Dallas, Georgia, all that. I vouch for all that. I don't vouch for Atlanta anymore. I hate Atlanta. Now, if I was a man, I wouldn't hate that shit. But I'm not a man, so I don't give a fuck about the city because of the state of ignorance. And that's what I'm saying. Half them people that's doing this shit ain't even from there. I can only imagine what it's like. I've seen videos of New Orleans and shit like that, and they got skyscrapers and shit. It really ain't nothing. It really is a small paradigm that people are living, beneath the surface, when they could clearly change their life and just do the right thing. But that's how people use their intellectual identity. Let's make it seem like these people living in this neighborhood are all junkies. They won't get jobs in the future. That's how they was plotting on me and my family. But I'm like, I clearly can show you some addresses that I stayed at that ain't nothing like this neighborhood. So I'm like, I had it good. So with all of that being said, motherfuckers can use that old gangster ghetto identity all they want to. But it's real. Half these people really are simple-minded and just being in love with somebody for their body. And sitting there telling me, ain't no boundaries. I know what a boundary is. I wasn't dumb by a long shot. They sat there and made me second guess myself, forming all these paradigms against me and my family. And I walk around and I see all these people that's smoking cigarettes and shit, and I get mad because I don't understand why. Why? They doing all this shit for no damn reason. Sit there and promote the idea that I was a man hater. I wasn't no man hater by a long shot. It really doesn't make any sense that all these black women, I've seen some black women that sit there and jump to the gun a lot, which means that they're insecure. These men ain't gonna tell them because these men getting their dick sucked and shit. Like one nigga told me, I'm getting my nuts off. I ain't stun these bitches. I'm just doing me. I'm surviving as a man. I just have to fuck bitches every now and then because I don't know where they head at. Since I have to use my penis to actually, control the situation, I will. Because some women, that's how they act or pretend to act. Like, yeah, just give me some dick and I'll act right. How you doing, man? But it just depends on the situation. I got a woman that really wants her nigga to be fulfilled as a man, and controlling people is what manhood is about down here. If you aren't a controlling man, go live with me. Let me know what's real. Tell me that you walking around showing your body off to women and you develop a paradigm of an egotistical nature based off that fact. That's all these rap songs is about. When I listen to some of these rap songs, I get so embarrassed. Because typically, people like that don't make it. I'm like, I didn't even think that dude was like that. I'm like, we grew up and we actually had the same literature class, but you can actually take advantage of dumb shit like being ghetto and shit and make a profit off of it. People will like that. That's why I envy the lifestyle of a man, because it really is put on a pedestal. I'm like, I really could just rap about the things I'm doing every day, getting some money, taking money from people, whatever, and go to a hotel room and fuck a bitch and brag about it, and then do a show and then fuck more bitches and have a protective identity with my manhood in every aspect of the word. So now I'm growing my hair out, and my little sister was telling me, well, I went to cosmetology school. You have to clip your ends. You ain't got to do shit. Have your own damn mind. Just let your hair grow. I'm like, they really think they know. When I go to a school, I'm not finna, it's about application. Your application will show. If you are a smart person, you don't need no degree. You can get that shit, and you probably are a smart person, but if you're not, then it won't show. I've been slowed down by this whole paradigm of heterosexuality, heteronormality. That's the reason why people, you know, when I'm actually at these jobs, people aren't taking me serious enough. I'm not finna sit here and sue all these men because that's what they want. As a woman, I don't want to be viewed as a woman. I really want to be a man. I need people to understand it. I'm going to include that in my resume and let people know that it is about family. I grew up with irrational acting people. I'm not sure if I can understand the concept of family. For me to even view it as a concept, just let you know. My mom got married, but she got married to a guy that I wasn't receptive of. It really was an irrational situation where men walking around asking women to give them some pussy. Give me some pussy, I give you some money. It really was a whole pimp mentality type of relationship that I've seen growing up. It really doesn't make any sense to me. I'm like, when you earn your boyfriend's respect, that's the paradigm we come from. When you earn your boyfriend's respect after having all these kids, I want to know. Because if you have boundaries, that's something I may never know and people be playing dumb. But I will never know. We come from that type of situation. I've got situations where I walk up and down in Atlanta and people asking me about a man that I don't give a fuck about. I don't care about what you guys got going on. If you have a family, cool. So what happened was I attacked this paradigm by giving them money. That's exactly what happened. Because at the end of the day, I could have been in love with a bitch from so-and-so and so-and-so. But I was a girl. I wasn't no dumb person. I was lying. I was sitting there pretending to want to be this type of nigga and that type of nigga. I'm like, I know I'm a fucking female. So somebody rolled up in Powder Springs and I put a bag full of money in their car and told them that that's what they really wanted. And it was a detox for me because I actually do want to see people, get their shit together. You're already stuck in the realms of this paradigm. You want to help people out. You claim to be an intellectual man. Now take that money and take care of these bitches and hoes. Because that's all they are. It really doesn't make any sense. But yeah, I'm at McDonald's in the Walmart off North Main Street in Summerville, South Carolina. Come out and support us. Please and thank you.